Alright, hello and welcome to the third episode of the PokemonSpeedruns Podcast. My name's Amoeba, and joining me on today's episode, I have basically already a co-star number 1, Scoagogo.
Hello.
Basically already a co-star number 2, Crafted.
Hello.
And the bilingual Sapphire master, G. Hines.
Yo.
Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Just a quick bit of admin before we start. Just want to make sure that everybody knows that we will be uploading the podcast to my YouTube channel pretty much as soon as it's done. youtube.com/amoebauk. Please give us feedback. I'm always looking to try and make this as good as I can. Anything that you tell me can be addressed, you know. I just want it to be as good as it possibly can be. And with that was really it. We'll go on to our first point, which I think we should start talking about Pokemon Platinum, because it's been busy.
A lot of action there.
Got RetroTato's run up on the stream. This was, when was this? Middle of June. Using the pre-existing route, Retro finally, I say finally, he's been going for it for a while, took the Platinum any percent world record with a 249. I think this is the one that uses just the level 40 tentacle, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
At this point, the new route, which uses 2 tentacles, it was still being developed. Hadn't been completely finalized yet.
Yeah. So the bit you've got on the stream at the moment is what tweak is it? I can't remember the name of the town. But it's a tweak.
Siliceon.
Thank you. Yeah, and Retro gets it first try, which to me is always nuts. I hate tweaks.
That is a very hard tweak. And
Yeah,
you crash the game. That's why you save.
Oh, really?
It's very easy to crash the game on that tweak.
Oh, Jesus. I remember, I don't remember who it was running it, but when somebody was running, I think, HeartGold any percent, and they were complaining about a tweak, I think MK Dasher put up a video, like a potato cam recording of his DS doing this same tweak, like just repeatedly. And
Yeah, MK Dash is insane.
Yeah, the man is brilliant.
4-finger tweaks. That'd be match.
That sounds like a euphemism. Gave the speedrun the 4-finger tweak. Yeah. Yeah, this run. I mean, level 40 tentacle was a Worcester special, wasn't it? The original route.
Yeah.
Worcester.
And the new route is you still get that tentacle, the level 40. Or actually, I think it's a different one, but it's still a level 40 tentacle. It's just got different stats and stuff.
Is it an improved one, or is it to like make the level 51 easier?
I'm not sure exactly. I don't think it needs to be an improved one because it's not used for very long.
Yeah, so it's probably
I think it's actually a certain date to make you on a certain date for the level 50 where the journal advances the RNG in a certain way. Something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, so the hard thing about the level 50 manip though, I mentioned this last time about the NPCs, but if you know about in-game time 0 in Generation 1, it's a lot like that. Basically, you could have a bad save where every time you try the manip and you get it, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Which a bad save is basically where if you're going to hit the manip, the NPC will move before you get a chance to open the menu. So if you get a bad save on a run, then you've got to, re-save again. And that's obviously going to waste a lot of time because saving is really slow in Gen 4.
Yeah.
And you're only going to realize you've got a bad save once you hit the manip. So you've got to hit the manip, realize you've got a bad save again. It's a lot of time wasted.
Yeah, the fact that this route can even work the way, the new one. I mean, we're all banging on about this new route. This is something we talked about, I believe, last month, because they were just, I think Worcester just like posted a pace spin where he decided that, they found this level 50 tentacle and it could potentially be faster than the level 40 route, and then it turned out it probably was faster, and then it turned out that, well, if you use both, it's even better. Which seems ridiculous, because you catch it exactly the same Pokemon 10 levels higher. but it does work out faster in the ideal. But yeah, so RetroTato's was actually on the old route, used exclusively a level 40 tentacle because he was running. It's probably about almost exactly the same time as the 50 tentacle manip had been done. Yeah, this level 50 tentacle manip was actually found partly by Worcester and partly by this man here, _POY or Poi. Is it Poi?
I'm not actually sure.
I call him Poi.
I call him Poi too.
Yeah.
He did a lot of coding to make this possible.
This guy's he's one of like the underrated heroes of PSR. He pops up here and there doing some nutty runs.
Yeah, and routing as well.
Hmm. Yeah, if you get the chance to catch his stream, he does, what is it? The Gen 1, he does like a full tour speedrun, or is it? No, he does
all trainers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you may have seen Keezer doing as well.
Yeah. He's been doing a lot of platinum lately. I've been watching his recent runs. He's been pretty active with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he actually got the first record with the new route, which is on the screen now. The 249.03.
Yeah, this is the double tentacle. Which, I thought this timestamp took us to the double tentacle. I didn't do my notes very well. Oh, it kind of did. There he is. So this is the big level 50 boy that they're catching while they've got a level 41. They only use that tentacle for enough for it to level up once.
I think it's like 3 fights.
Wow.
Fantina Raikou.
Yeah, because I remember reading
Fantina
Worcester said that there's some, consideration that maybe using Monferno for those fights might be faster, but there's a lot of routing that would go into it, and it's probably not faster.
You have to battle manip the fights.
Okay.
God.
That would just take forever.
Yeah, and I watch Poi. I have a lot of issues with. He tries to do like Berry 1 manip or something like that, and he tends to have issues with that. So it seems like the fight manip in Gen 4 is kind of tough.
Oh, I think Mr. Pearl Any Percent in the call here can tell us everything about Gen 4 manip.
Well, in Diamond and Pearl, actually, fight manip is completely impossible because the RNG just advances every frame. But in Platinum and HeartGold, it's just based on the frame that you start the fight, and it's just generated in the same way as a regular seed.
I didn't know that.
Just when you start the fight. And then as long as you do the exact same things in the fight, you'll get the same results. So that's how like Red Minute works in HeartGold any percent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
The hard bit of it is, for like Rival 1, lag frames don't count. And then, I don't know, Rival 1 seems to be really weird. Like, we can't seem to work out. I don't think anyone's actually replicated seeds on emulator that they've got on console. I certainly have had no luck finding any battles that I've got on console on emulator. So
yeah, that's what Poi was saying.
Really hard to root.
You reckon it's an emulator issue then, potentially, or?
I have no idea. It could be.
I'm curious.
But emulator seems to emulate the actual RNG pretty well, even though it's bad at everything else. It seems to get the RNG right.
I was wondering what Poi was doing for a second there. I didn't realise that was a tweak. He just seemed to be biking back and forth a bit.
Yeah,
it's by far the best tweak in the run. If you go to the very end of Wake's gym, you'll get to see a great feature.
Yeah, so this was the new route world record that Poi got, and then I think this was 22nd of June that the video was uploaded. Let's throw this one up. 23rd of June, the big Worcester. It's exactly the same route that Poi was using, and I've been a bit of an arse here because I've highlighted the one spinner he hits in the entire run.
That's unfortunate. You have to dodge that guy 3 times.
Yeah, and he hit him on the final pass as well.
Yeah, he's not too bad because he's only got 1 Pokemon. So if you hit him on the first pass, it's like not the worst thing ever, but third pass is just kind of annoying.
Third pass has got to be terrible because you spent all that time making sure you got past on the first 2 as well.
Yeah.
I didn't have the audio up, but Worcester's reaction was not a happy one. But otherwise, going by Worcester's comments, he seems quite happy with this run. reckons something like a 242. I think he said in the comments is potentially possible, but considering how long they'd had the route, you know, Worcester does a Worcester special, pulls out a very decent run very quickly.
Yeah.
Which I think it's half the advantage of routing it yourself, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely get a lot of insight if you route something yourself.
There's a lesson to anybody looking to learn. I'd like to pretend that I did that myself, but I can't route for anything.
Yeah, maybe I should actually route instead of just stealing Crafted's notes all the time.
I'd like to pretend it was somebody else, but the last 2 Lightspeed games I've run, I've stolen Crafted notes as well. So, it's like, I wanted to learn black, so I literally PM'd Crafted. Like, hey,
Oh, the black notes are good.
yeah, the black notes are good. There is a skill in writing good notes.
Yeah.
And it's really underrated as well, because notes take time, because you don't write, you don't write in a readable way for anybody else. You write in the way, my personal notes are a goddamn mess to anybody else, because it's just, I write stuff as I need to remember it, and then I delete stuff that I don't need to remember anymore.
Yeah.
I think when I really got into Emerald, my notes for that were ridiculous, because it was just a bunch of stuff that I occasionally forgot. So it was just all over the place. You'd have like 10 minutes of runs just, not even written down, then suddenly it'd be like, don't forget rare candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, platinum any percent. We did say last month, keep an eye on this, it's getting big routes. And there you go. Two new route runs, big new record, 3 records in total. Yeah. Big things for platinum. And I hope Poi does some more runs as well.
I think, that's what he's been doing lately, so hopefully he keeps at it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see if the time can go down even further.
Yeah.
Although you can never underestimate a Worcester
Right.
run. So from there, we're going to go from records to routing. Exarion, who, if you watched the show last month, you may remember us talking about the fact that Exarion put up a I am quitting Pokemon speedrunning.
That's right, I did see that. That was classic pace.
Yeah. And this month we have an Exarion pace spin routing out Crystal. So, no further comment on that regard. But the new Crystal route is they've switched legendary dogs or legendary cats if you're a weirdo. Dogs or cats, guys? Which one is it?
They look like cats to me, but that's just.
Oh, I've always called them
looks like a
dogs.
dog.
Yeah, Suicune's a dog.
I've always called them dogs, but I heard.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a contrarian thing to kind of go, oh, they're actually cats.
The demo sprites are definitely dogs.
Oh yeah. Oh, the demos. That's a fascinating little find.
Oh yeah.
That was a Sankui one, wasn't it, as well?
Oh yeah.
Behind that. But yeah, we are sidetracking. The new Crystal route, which I don't believe anybody's done a run of yet, because, well, it's got Manips and it's a brand new route. I don't think anybody's actually running Crystal right now.
Not that I know of.
I think Exarion did like a practice stream, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if he's routed it himself, I'd be surprised if he doesn't at least do a run.
Yeah.
He may be fed up with Pokemon speedrunning in general, but it's a lot of work for. Well, I mean, it's payoff to him. Routing's enjoyable to a lot of people, but not having a run of it. Yeah, it's the change seems to be that Raikou isn't actually faster in the perfect scenarios. It's just that Entei is ridiculously inconsistent. They rely a lot on Iron Tail for Entei, which I think is 90% accurate, 85?
75.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually 75, yeah.
Didn't know that was that bad. Okay, I could understand this more. So as it works out, Exarion says in his comparison pace spin, on average your Raikou route is going to be 32 seconds faster. Where are we? There it is. Faster on average.
I think this route is possible because I think it was Enter found Banip for Raikou, which is I can't remember how many frames, but they all have like a good hidden power, which is obviously quite hard to get.
It looks to be 3 frames, judging purely by this pace spin.
Yeah, 3-frame hidden power ice cluster.
Yeah.
That middle set's real nice as well. 13, 15, 13, 12, 11.
Wow.
But the other 2 aren't bad because you've got a high hidden power ice anyway. But I mean, it came. I don't think we were doing this last month. That they even had stat manip for Entei at all. I could be wrong.
No, not that I knew of. Yeah.
Yeah, the stat manip's a very new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the record doesn't have any stat manip.
Yeah. So.
And we've seen what stat manip's done for gold, so
Yeah.
it'll probably do a lot for crystal soon as well.
I reckon we could have 2 or 3 new records for next month's podcast. A bit similarly to platinum, this is a decent size change.
Yeah, this makes the run, I think, a lot more appealing. Hopefully more people get into it. I played a little bit of crystal. It's a lot of fun, actually, especially compared to gold.
Cough crafted return? Cough?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the man's gone full Worcester. He's doing Gen 4 and 5 speedruns now.
That's true.
But yeah, so the Raikou route using I love the phrase here, poverty bolt beam, between hidden power ice and spark. It trades off power in Iron Tail and Flamethrower, but for a lot better coverage. Bolt beam is near perfect coverage, especially back in Gen 2. Not much that resists both. I doubt they come across anything that resists both in the route. I mean, I can't think of all the Pokemon. That'd be a while. Yeah. Definitely watch out for crystal runners, I'd say, in the coming weeks. I feel like I say that a lot. That is like
there's a lot of developments over the summer, I think.
Yeah.
In Pokemon in general.
Right. And then I think probably for a lot of viewers, for followers of speedrunning, Pokemon speedruns in general, this will be the big news of the month. It'll be the brand new Yellow record by Gunnar, which in a way comes as not a surprise. Everybody kind of knew Gunnar was going to do it. The man's got an unrelenting passion for this game.
Yeah.
It's nice to see it rewarded, although the final time is kind of heartbreaking, considering he was chasing the 153. Come so close, and then just like 2 seconds he fell short by. And it's not even his fault. Like the run was near perfect execution. I think I caught most of it, and then my internet died on the Elite Four, which I was annoyed by. Yeah, this is. I don't think it's not particularly using any new route that I know of, apart from Ty Kevin's Mount Moon Minute that I believe we demoed in the last podcast. Everything's.
What's different about it?
I don't know. I didn't know the differences. I know that Ty Kevin released a video for it, so I don't know if it's easier. It didn't look easy. There was that many inputs as he was going through Mount Moon.
Yeah.
But I know they manip a flyer at some point. I don't know if that's in the same save. I can't see it being in the same save as the Mount Moon Minute.
Manipulate a flyer in Viridian, or?
Yeah, it's an on-Viridian forest.
Oh,
yeah, I think
it
so.
might be. I was thinking, last time I ran Yellow, we caught a Spearow below the Jigglypuff girl, so you know.
Yeah.
I'm an old fart when it comes to any of these games. But yeah, Gunnar at the time seemed a little disappointed with the time, but I think he's glad to finally have a good run again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he wanted to stop playing Yellow for a bit.
Well, his comment, if we go have a look at the leaderboards, his comment for the run is something about... I don't know, it might have not been a leaderboard comment, it might have been underneath. No, it wasn't. Leaderboard comment. It's saying about how he won't return to the game unless somebody beats it. So...
Which Poke Guy is hot on his tail. So.
Yeah, well that was exactly what I was going to say. 6 whole seconds behind him.
And he actually almost beat it like within a couple days, and I can't remember what he died to, but he had something ridiculous happen in the late game.
Oh, was that the run where... Because he got to Giovanni 2 and got Dig off Dugtrio and survived on 1 HP. Because I was watching a run like that, and he was multiple seconds ahead of record. I think he said it was probably the best time out of... or going into Elite Four. And then he missed Blizzard on Sylph Rival... no, Victory Road Rivals.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I heard about this.
I think he did miss it.
Yeah, he said it was probably the best time anybody's ever had out of Giovanni. It was looking like a good run.
Yeah.
Also, his PB was ahead of record going into the champion fight, but he got hypnosis on Executor.
Oh yeah.
So his PB was actually 153 pace as well then. God damn.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Lost it on the last possible thing that could go wrong.
Jesus. Yellow is a bitch.
Yeah.
I know that's a mean word, but yellow is awful.
I can't believe they still both really, they've both been grinding it a lot. I mean, even I was playing it last night, I think.
Damn.
Yeah. So, but it's nice to see Gunner move on to Gen 2. I always like watching him play Gen 2.
Yeah,
I think there's $100 bounty on 153.
Really?
I think I've heard.
Ooh, wonder who's put that money up.
Pokemon Yellow ROM.
How to speedrun Pokemon Yellow. Don't.jpg. This run is suffering. If we scroll all the way down to the lofty heights of 33rd, there is Amoeba 2 years ago with a 203, which would have been a 200.
I didn't know you ran yellow. Fuck.
Yeah, it would have been a 200 if I didn't die to Lorelei. But that's how long it took to get a not shit run, and I still had a death in it. Fuck yellow. I hate that run.
I'm surprised Gunner even still likes yellow. I mean, looking at his reset counter, it's not like 15k or something.
Yeah, it's about there. Yeah.
He's approaching like Worcester's level in red blue.
Yeah.
Except obviously he gets on runs like 80% of the time now, whereas Worcester was resetting multiple times for Squirtles.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dedication, some of the top runners, especially these earlier games, the really popular ones are showing, is nutty. And then at the same time, the brand new runners coming in. We'll get to this later, but you got people like Juan Li Wei's is a fairly new runner. He's already up in 4th in yellow.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, I've seen Wanley playing a bit, but that's crazy.
Yeah, he's one of the guys we keep finding on the leaderboard roundup. He keeps popping up and going, you know, his yellow progression's been nuts. I think it was, and he's in Crystal as well? Question mark? Yeah. Yeah, he went in.
He was learning red a while ago.
Yeah, he's already top 13 in red.
My goodness.
Well,
He's gone from a 213 to a 155 in yellow in 4 months. He's literally only been running Pokemon games for 4 months, judging by his profile. The man is good. Yeah, it's routing as well. Like the work that people put into the routing to just make the runs more runnable. Really can't go undervalued. Hello. What was that? So Gunner with the first place in yellow. He also, because he hasn't done enough this month, apparently, decided that he would go to gold, and it did not take him very long to pop out this run. He's now 2nd place, behind, I believe, Poker Guy, question mark, possibly WC?
Yeah.
Yes.
Poker Guy.
Yeah.
But I think Poker Guy's run was last month's podcast, wasn't it? Because it was.
Yeah, it was.
He reckoned it was near perfect. Like, it was a really, really good run, and the time certainly suggests that.
Was that without stat manip? I'm pretty sure.
No, it was with.
No, it was in like the first record with stat manip.
Yeah, he did like one of the first runs, which is why it was such a good time. Well, it's not just why, but I've been a bit mean to Gunner as well as Worcester in that I've highlighted one of the poor points of his run, but he gets it's not his fault. He gets murdered by Miltank and loses, I think, 1.5 minutes here. That goes to show you what kind of time he can get. So he got flinched by the Miltank stomp. The strat is to set up Fury Cutters, so by the time Miltank comes out, I think.
Wait, what? He lives this? Oh, but he got roll out.
Oh no, keep watching. He does live it. He actually ends up getting quite lucky with his survival. But
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna let this play out.
Wait, super? What? I guess he has to, because he'll get Stomp here.
Oh my god.
For anybody
This
watching,
is 315, right? This is his 315?
yeah, this is 3:15:49.
Oh, wow.
For anybody watching chat, the reactions are slightly delayed because they're watching my stream. So I think it's about 5 seconds behind. Realistically, how he even survives this is kind of nuts. Because Miltank
It's just proof that you never reset runs. Because they can still end up being amazing times.
Miltank sets up rollout twice on him. Is nuts.
Yeah, it's very rare to win on Miltank if you're at 0 Fury Cutters.
I don't. To be fair, I don't think I've ever. I can't say I watch a lot of Gen 2, but I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
I've certainly never won from that situation. That's for sure.
You can see. I mean, he actually only loses like 10 seconds to his PB, but in terms of actual time loss against what he could achieve, it's something like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So if we take a look at the leaderboards real quick, they pop up. Hello, my internet, or src.com, please work. Thank you. Yeah, so he's a minute and a second behind PokeGuy. So that one thing, it quote unquote effectively cost him record. Obviously, it doesn't work like that, but
right.
If that didn't happen, he would have. They're gonna as ever, making big waves. I think everybody knows to expect Gunnar to do big things. But I think...
he has actually been on pace to beat PokeGuy.
Has it? Oh, was this
the
SP?
Yeah,
minute?
he was. Pardon?
I don't know. I'm just saying words, man. Go ahead.
No, he was in the Elite Four, and he was like 5 seconds ahead of PokeGuy, I think, and his SP died.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think that was in Kanto, wasn't it?
I only saw like the Elite Four. He was like a minute and 6 ahead of his PB. But I don't actually know when this SP died.
I think it was after Surge.
Oh, damn.
I remember watching that, yeah. I think pretty sure it was in Kanto.
Don't run with SPs, folks.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised he runs SP because he plays Gen 1 and Gen 2. You can definitely get away with those, but...
Yeah, he could have got the record, but that's obviously assuming Red went well, which is
that's rare.
Not the most likely thing in the world.
It's not as bad as HeartGold though, is it? I don't think. Oh no, because you have Raikou in that, don't you?
Yeah.
I suppose
I mean, the old Typhlosion HeartGold, yeah, that was terrible.
Oh yeah.
Who would even do that? Who would even try?
Well, I think that'll do as a very nice segue into the HeartGold news. Because HeartGold got itself a new record, and boy, this guy's been working for it. I think we've mentioned this in the last 2 months. Buster has been grinding and grinding for this run. I've seen tweet after tweet after tweet of him getting hit by a spinner with the words.
Oh yeah, it's always the spinners, yeah.
that one in Claire's gym. I've seen that picture about 3 or 4 times now.
Oh yeah.
Just brings me back to Yipes with like, oh, I love this movie. I rent it every time. Hello. But yeah, he finally gets the run I think he deserves. I don't know how it went in general, but we're currently watching what is a near perfect Red fight. Obviously, Red being horrific as it is. So I think you're upwards of 20 levels under leveled here.
No, they don't do they manip the Red fight in Glitchless?
No, not in Glitchless.
Okay.
Is there a reason for that? Or are they like not allowed?
No, it's allowed. It's just it's basically it's not faster, so it's more consistent. But it might be worth it. But then, is it worth all the trouble of doing all the routing, which takes quite a while? I think that's the thing that's not worth doing.
Because the original, like going back to the original Manip, that was Worcester tweeting out for a team of people to help him. I believe.
Yeah.
I think like Garfield and who else was in that? S-Fane?
MK Dasher, S-Fane, yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people working on that because you just had to manip every possible outcome. It almost wasn't manip. It was just like, here's a range of RNG I can get and what I need to do for each one.
Yeah, so you try and hit a certain second, like you'd save the game and then you'd hit a certain second because the seed is like determined on your minutes and seconds. Is it added up or multiplied or something? So you'd be on a certain RNG seed and then you'd have to you'd have to reset at a certain time so you could start the fight on a certain seed, which is what mentioned earlier about like it mattering the frame that you enter the fight. So you'd have they would root out an 8-frame window to start the fight on, which is pretty easy to hit as long as you can reset at the right time.
You have to know which frame you've got though, so you have to be able to recognize that as well, I suppose.
Yeah, so you do that based on the damage that Pikachu does with Volt Tackle. And then if it does the same on 2 seeds, then you ideally root out the same action on the second turn, so that you can determine it on the next turn.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, I'm far too stupid to get Gen 4 minute, but it's interesting to hear how this kind of stuff works and the work people put into it. Sometimes when you're watching speedruns and you just kind of, you can kind of blanket over the, oh, he just manips this. It's like, how much work actually went into that? How many people, how many days?
And I did some routing for the current red manip in the new route, and like I did a whole cluster, and then we just threw out the cluster because it was just really bad fights.
Jesus.
And like sometimes you require a super potion and you might not have that, so it's just like, yeah, we'll just throw out this cluster and not bother with it, because if you just wait a second, then you can maybe get better fights overall, which saves more than however much you had to wait to get to the next seed.
A turn in Gen 4, especially with these long ass health bars, thank you for the example there, Lapras, is very long.
And the text, I mean, Gen 4 just seems so slow.
I don't think it's too bad once you get to like Platinum and HeartGold, but I feel like
Listening in Victory Road.
Yeah, alright. You can count the set. Mind you, Gen 1, you don't really encounter it in the speedruns, but Gen 1 was pretty bad sometimes for long ass, like chancy health bars.
Gen 2 as well.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm thinking of Gen 2. Gen 1. But yeah, Buster is, for anybody that doesn't know, Buster is a Japanese runner. Actually running on the English version here, but he's a killer for a lot of Japanese categories.
Yeah, he's far ahead in multiple games.
Yeah, I mean, he like stretches out to English categories at this point because he dominates a lot of the Japanese ones, because they generally don't have as much competition at the moment. Japanese speedrunning community is kind of quiet.
Pretty sure right now he's doing Japanese Crystal, so check that out. I don't know I think he's doing Entei right now, but maybe he'll figure out something with Raikou. I know the language barrier is an issue for him, learning from Xarian's notes. I'm not sure if the manip works the same on Japanese, but
well, funnily enough, the next point we have, well, one of them, is actually a brand new Japanese record. I'm actually going to skip over what I was going to do for the first one, just because it ties into what you just said really nicely. This is the new, well, it's actually Pokemon Blue, Japanese any % glitchless, I think Glitchless Classic record by SLWeed. And I'm just popping this up now because he's actually using a specific manip just for the Japanese version.
It won't be classic then.
Oh no, that's not classic.
Oh no, of course, no, yeah. You're very cool. I'm not a smart boy. But yeah, I mean, the final time he gets is a 150, and if you look at his splits now, he's got a 156, so I think the manip he's done is saving some significant time. But it's just nice to see some Japanese categories getting some love, especially from non-Japanese runners.
In general, they seem lesser explored.
Well, they've been less. I mean, when was the Japanese leaderboard integration was only in the last couple of years, so the English community as a whole wasn't even aware of them, I don't think.
Right, that's been helpful, yeah.
And this is like actually a new category completely, because the Japanese used like the classic rule set, whereas this is with like the English rule set, but on the Japanese game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they did do that combination. I was skeptical of it initially, but I do like that now. And I hope they get more love. I hope like some of the Japanese runners look at the English rule set on the Japanese games, because that's an extremely quiet leaderboard at the moment. Oh, look at this manip. I didn't realise he went all the way through Viridian Forest. Smart boy. Yeah, that's by SLWeed, a massive new record. And then the other big Japanese record comes courtesy of the gentleman in the call, Mr.
That's
Jim
me.
Hines.
Yeah.
It's the Sapphire one, and I'm sorry I've highlighted your Norman fight as well. I feel like I highlighted everybody's terrible
worse.
parts of the run.
Yeah, this is probably one of the biggest time. This is time loss. Yeah.
So, what was the main reason for running the Japanese version then? Because I know you've been a big time runner of the English version for a long time.
Yeah, the initial reason was I'd run it a while ago, like a couple years ago. Buster had the record in it, I think, at the time, and then recently another Japanese runner, Ringo, beat my time by a few minutes, and so I wanted to beat it because I was just super fed up with English. And I had remembered Japanese. One of the main differences between English and Japanese, or all the international releases of Gen 3 in general, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, is that the stat or the natures are different between the opposing pokes and all the versions. I'm not sure why. DeBonstu explained it one time, and I think it has to do specifically with the language and the way that nature is determined. But
I'd take a guess that because like natures are normally determined by the secret ID of a Pokemon.
Something like that.
That's probably determined from your region as well. So
yeah. So basically, the difference in just the 10% that the nature can affect the stat is super significant for a few fights, and I remembered that being a thing for a few things. I didn't do I finally got a Lua script going and was able to get all the stats exactly. Whereas in the past, I only had kind of eyeballed it and figured out what the stat differences were. But once I actually routed out all the stat differences, it was obvious how significant it was. And it's way better. So then I decided, I'm just going to grind this for at least sub 2. I'm not really happy with the run, especially I rewatched it like yesterday. And I'm not too happy with it, but I might try and beat it again. But yeah, that's why I went back though. But
yeah, he said was it Ringo had the record before you? Because he's popped up in, especially recently, in quite a few leaderboards. We've suddenly seen.
Yeah,
he's
been a lot more active.
He's run like Gen 7, hasn't he? Am I making that up?
Yeah, I think so. No, I think he has. Yeah. A lot of the Japanese runners run later gens, I think, more frequently, whereas English confined to Gen 1 through 3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been I'd say especially across the last year or so, there's been a big splurge into Gen 4. Possibly spearheaded by Worcester moving more to the Gen 4 stuff. But I know like Crafted went to Gen 4 and 5, 3 years ago now, Crafted?
Yeah, probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah. So, and then people like Garfield who have been doing Gen 4 since Pokemon speedrunning was a thing. He's done everything 4+ now, hasn't he? Apart from maybe
now he's more, I think, 6 and 7, right?
Yeah, he runs everything that's new. I suppose he's kind of got the Japanese mindset in that way.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a variety. If everybody was stuck in Gen 1, we'd all be sick of it after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I wish Gen 3 had come back to popularity though. I feel like it's been dead for a while.
Well, it's been dead for good reason. It experienced a surge once Abrolus came about, but then I think it just never really had the same number of dedicated runners, and so the competition, even though we've had people putting up times, there hasn't been a lot of competition.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Emerald's got the one dedicated runner, and he's super dedicated. Shout out to
Shiru's been going in, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Finally got chain manip in a run. Proud of my boy.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, now he gets it all the time. He's definitely improved a lot.
And I'm waiting any day now that's going to pop up in my little notifications on speedrun.com.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be talking about that on some podcasts.
There is a new run to verify an Emerald. Shiru, first place. Because he's run out of time now. He can't improve his PB anymore without recording. It's like, gotta happen.
Yeah.
Come on, Shiru. If you're watching, get it done.
Oh, I hope people actually start playing Gen 3 again, because it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. For some of the Sapphire, I didn't realize things like Wingle Manip were a thing.
Wingle Manip is a big deal. You can't do it in Emerald because of but and Sapphire is huge.
JP's just said in chat as well. I can't pronounce his name. I think Quailagging.
Quailagging.
Been putting in a good show for Emerald. He's not using particularly modern strats. But
he does. He doesn't do modern movement strats.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think he doesn't do any kind of Abra manip at all. He's still running Abraless, isn't he?
Yeah.
So it's not using ancient strats or anything. It shows by his time. He's top 3 now.
Yeah.
So it just shows what the routing isn't everything. Good execution will take you far.
Right.
It's just nice to see. I'm just hoping that, because Emerald had there was a point where there was big runners all in Emerald at the same time.
Oh yeah, Emerald's always had a history of being decently popular.
The Worcester, Exarion, Roush, Vince days were great.
Rip Vince. Yeah.
I'm going full fucking nostalgia here. Sorry, guys.
Well, when are you coming back to Emerald?
Never. It's a shit game. It's an awful speedrun. They brought Abra back. I don't want anything to do with that.
Well, yeah, that's actually it.
But it's a free Abra. It's not a 10%.
Shouts to 4%.
Yeah.
10% to encounter, 40 to catch.
Those are the days.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congrats on that record, man. I hope to see it drop down a bit more for the Japanese representation than anything else as well.
Yeah,
nice.
I wrote notes. They're available, and I'm also working on a translation guide. So if people are interested, they can learn from it. I don't think it should be too hard for English. I wish more English runners would play Japanese. Obviously, SLWeed did that. You can do it without being able to read it.
Yeah. Well, you just need to, as infantile as the statement sounds, you just need to memorize the shapes.
Pretty much, yeah.
You've run.
That's exactly what I had to do for Black, because I don't know a word of Japanese.
Well, you're doing Diamond Japanese too, right? Or is it Pearl or Platinum?
No, Black.
Then I thought you said Japanese Pearl. No, you did say Black, but I thought you did Japanese Pearl too.
Oh no, I've only done Japanese Black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They say it's getting into the Elite Four. Oh, where's the rare candy? I can't find it. I don't know which one of these symbols means rare candy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's because the kind of staple for English runs in Pokemon is it was just done by older runners, wasn't it? Just a habit. What's the word I'm looking for?
What do you mean?
Well, like the only reason that people run English as the standard now is because the original runners did it in the first place. Like,
yeah, well, I think Pokemon's historically just had that divide, whereas others say, well, Italian is.
Well, there's like a lot of like speedrunning communities have gone. Everybody started kind of doing runs not as seriously as people do runs now on English versions, finding tricks, trying to use them, and then at some point someone's kind of gone, if I run it on Japanese, it's going to be faster. And Pokemon never really had that moment. No one ever kind of came along and went, if I run it on Japanese, it's going to be faster.
Yeah, I actually like that Pokemon splits it up, because and one of the big things, most of the time it's just text, but in the case of Gen 3, at least, it's actually a demonstrable, like, structural difference between the games, so I would not consider them even the same game.
No, yeah, it's quite nice to see.
Yeah.
I know, like, Gen 5 has the interesting one where English is the faster version.
Yeah, Sko had said that. I was interested by that.
Hey, what?
Yeah, it's just one character per frame instead of two characters
Oh yeah,
per
the
frame.
character speed. It's actually slower in Gen 5.
Yeah, which is weird.
Is it like Gen 5 onwards, it's slower?
Oh, is it 6 and 7 as well?
I think it might have been Garfield or Wartab said, I can't remember, but the Japanese was slower in the Gen 7 games as well for a similar reason.
Oh yeah, was that was last podcast, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Shout out to wartab in the chat, feeding us information while we're here as well. Told me how to pronounce poi. So yeah, Gen 3 Japanese record, Gen 1 Japanese record. Hopefully we get to see some more. I don't think any Japanese runners have actually shown up this month, which is a little, well, apart from Buster in English, but not in a Japanese.
Right.
So for our next one, it's more just a plug for a video that I want to show off. I saw this on our speedrun, which is a terrible place, don't go there. this video is actually really good. Done in style of summoning salts videos. It's a Pokemon Snap world record progression. And I will say big thank you to CCNeverender for this, because I don't know how Pokemon Snap speedruns work, and now I do. Because it seems, like, to me it seems very odd that you can, and it's one of the first things he said in the video, speedrun something that's on rails. You know, how do you speedrun something where you have no control over the time it takes? It's all about the fact that they can exit stages and they can reduce lag by staring at the ceiling. And you see in here as well, he's comparing...
Which is what we say every podcast.
Yeah.
Classic N64.
Yeah. It's like showing off some different strats here where like he gets pictures earlier so he can exit out of the run faster, or in that one's case it's a better picture. And it's like because the run's all about, you know, you don't unlock things until you've got a certain amount of points, and then you need to unlock like apples to get past a certain stage. So, you know, this video is just, it's done in, like I say, it's done in a very familiar style. The Summon and Salt videos are all very good quality, and this is very similar. But it's just been done well by a member of the community, and definitely go check it out if you get the chance. I'll pop a link in the YouTube description. It is just very.
I like seeing these. I've seen a few of these actually. They're actually interesting videos of games.
I love the fact that Summon and Salt started this tradition, like this whole world record progression thing, and I like that other people in communities are kind of taking it on board and doing it themselves. Like, because it must be kind of hard for someone to like go and find all the information himself. Whereas like, I feel like you know, somebody like, you know, I'm probably the best person in the world to do a world record history of the pinball speedruns if somebody wanted one. But it would be a fucking boring video. But it's so much easier when you're in the community, and you're in the community for as long as some people have been. You can give that kind of insight, and that's really what you get through this video. And it's well edited as well. Look at that little, you know, cut in. Look at that. I wouldn't know how to do that. I don't know how to video edit at all. But yeah, if you get the chance, check this out. I don't think there's been any significant new snap times, but as the video does explain, they're kind of approaching a threshold. Bo is the current record holder, and his time is apparently like that good. They basically need more strats before his time's going to be approachable. I have a newfound appreciation for snap runs now. Purely because of that.
Check it out, it looks cool.
And then I think our final thing? No, not quite. Not all. Not even close. I didn't realize how much we've got to talk about this time. It's nice. Pop this up. This is the first of 3 Mystery Dungeon records for this month. We had a big section on Mystery Dungeon last podcast, I think. Yeah, we did, because I had a quote from HeartGold. It was HeartGold, and he'd taken about 3 different records in a single month. So the PMD community are going in hard right now for a lot of different runs. This is the any% for Explorers of Sky, and again it's HeartGold. But this time we've got 2 other names showing up as well. I've got to be honest, I don't know a lot about the route of any of the Mystery Dungeon games past Blue. But yeah, I mean, if you look at his comments, yeah, it looks like it was a decent run, but improvable. Wants a sub 510. If you like Mystery Dungeon, the speedruns are something else, especially Red Blue, although nobody seems to be running that at the moment, which is a little bit of a shame. But Sky is, I think, heralded as the best game casually of the Mystery Dungeon series.
I've never played any of them. Are they pretty good?
Well, I would say Sky's the best.
Yeah, I personally remember liking Sky the most. Time and Darkness were really good, and then Sky was just like a better version. And obviously the originals were good, and then it kind of drops off after a bit. Gates to Infinity.
Yeah. Oh, Gates to Infinity, we don't speak of that.
No, we don't talk about that one. So yeah, so that's Humus is for any%. That's with Wonder Mails, which again is the same as last month. I will mention that Wonder Mails are effectively programmable now, so you can get exactly the kind of missions you want for exactly the rewards you want for non-story missions. So obviously they can make that as fast as they need with good rewards. And it reduces the difficulty of the run by, they'll probably get something like choice specs or something nutty. Speed them up through. I don't know if are choice specs in Mystery Dungeon games. They'll probably
Do they have items? I mean,
I think they are.
At the start of that fight, he threw a stun seed at the Dialga. That's one like because they're massively underleveled at that point, so they have to kind of they effectively have to stun lock it, so they can beat it properly. Yeah.
Is it real time or is it turn based?
It's turn based.
Turn based.
Yeah. But if try and find some in dungeon movement for it. Give me anything. Now it's all cutscenes.
And like taking a step counts as your turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So here we go. So like every time they're taking a single step here, there's a bunch of enemies on the map moving around. You can I've somehow managed to find the exact spot where there's no enemies.
So they move predictably depending on how you.
In a sense, they all have AI. Typically, they'll kind of wander about on their own until they like start to see you. If you walk into a room with enemies, they'll come after you.
I don't think there's manip in this one, but in Red and Blue, there's you manip the dungeons, like you manip the floor layouts and the enemy patterns.
Yeah,
I see.
Well, you can do. There is they've split single segment and save and quit up into two different ones now. I think there's again, I'm fairly sure we mentioned this every month. There's a few of us that have done the old single segment runs before Worcester did a Worcester special and ruined it with Manip. Kappa.
Single segment.
I'm kind of shitposting there because the Manip run is very interesting. I know they've actually managed to create for Red Blue they've created a low percent where they just don't level up. You have to complete the game at the level you start at.
But
yeah, because they have enough manip to be able to avoid everything, so they can just manip stuff to stay out of the way. I say that I do think they level up because you have to beat bosses. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they can beat the bosses with items. I'm sure I checked and you're like level 5 at the end.
Oh my god!
I wonder if you don't get experience if you throw items at the boss. That sounds awful. But yeah, so yeah, it's Mystery Dungeon. They've been going ham recently. This is another one. Is this MozzarellaCheez? I think this one is. Yeah. This is again Sky, but this is a much longer category and beat Darkrai. Not quite the. There's an all icons run, which is something silly like 12 hours. But this is like the any percent run with a bunch of post game content as well. As I hear they're beating up on Alkia. Similar strats as well, it seems. I think they effectively they do just an any percent run and then finish off. Yeah, basically go into a Darkrai run once they've done any percent. So it is just a meatier category.
Man, these are long. Yeah, these are really long categories.
Oh, like the original Red Blue. I think the single segment record's like 2.5 hours, and then the save and quit one's like 1:50. I think might be lower than that actually. Yeah, the later games got quite long. I think the Gates to Infinity run I don't think is below 10 hours, and that's any percent. So but that's not the greatest game. And then the final one, and
like just below 9, I think.
All right, that's not that bad then. The final one, and shoutouts to Potato Cam, is Super Mystery Dungeon by I believe a brand new run of Pestilent Box. And then that's not a sarcastic shout out to Potato Cam. A reminder: you don't have to buy expensive equipment to speedrun. This is a perfectly acceptable video. Perhaps not the most entertaining to watch if you're looking to watch the entire, however many hours this is, because it's quite a few. It's like 5 hours. But you know, if you want to do speedruns, don't feel like you have to have expensive equipment. It's a great example of it.
Oh, that reminds me about the good thing about Mystery Dungeon. You don't have to mash through the text. You can just hold B.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
Wait, seriously?
Auto scroll, yeah.
Damn it.
Saves your hands.
There is a fair whack of cutscenes, but you can A, the story's good, and B, you can just mash through it. Well, not mash through it, but hold through it really quickly. Yeah, and the final thing for Mystery Dungeon, I'll shout that they did do a 24-hour series race. where I believe 2 teams of runners ran every game in the series. So they did Red Blue, then Time Darkness, then Sky, and Gates to Infinity, and then Super Mystery Dungeon. I don't think there's any others. They did all of those. It was about 24 hours long. If you want to check that out, check out the Twitch channel BSG_Marathon. They've streamed it to there. That is 24 hours of content, so if you like Mystery Dungeon, there's plenty there to go at. I imagine featuring a lot of the runners we've just seen as well. I can't see Huma's DS not being there, since he knows how to run all of the games. Yeah, big things in Mystery Dungeon, which was a theme from last month. So, moving on. I think Mr. Wartab has been waiting patiently in chat for a long while. We have the brand new Sun and Moon world record by Mr. Wartab himself. And I've done exactly the same thing as everybody else's record, where I've highlighted the worst bit in the run. I'm just a terrible person. This isn't his fault at all. This is like, look how the game robbed me of a better time, because he spends a minute and a half here getting both critted and paralysed by this Magna Zone.
Damn.
I didn't realise quite how underleveled that would be. Level 56 for the in-game legendary is not that high.
You get it at like 45? I can't remember.
I think it's 50.
I haven't played the games.
Oh, you haven't even played Sun and Moon? I always played them once.
I picked up Moon and got to the 7th trial and haven't touched it since. Not for any particular reason, I just wasn't into it.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I definitely have the same kind of feeling.
I was not a fan of 7, to be honest.
I refuse to replay the games.
I don't even own a copy of the Ultra ones. Wow, we're just doing nothing but shitting on this. Sorry, Walter.
I think they're decently cool runs. I used to.
We do have a quote from Mr. Wartab. I'm calling him Mr. Wartab now. Was kind enough to give us comments on his run. We can just ignore the bit that says run is 45% cutscenes. I don't think that matters. But, yeah, so again, we mentioned Garfield earlier, and there he pops up again. This route is almost entirely done by Garfield. And he does mention this fight that we were watching there as well, the champion one, where the Magna Zone trolls him for a good minute, I think he says. Also, we were talking about mashing for the Mystery Dungeon games. He says about his mashing technique there. The classic L equals A. I love that feature in the games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is classic.
Why did they take it out in Gen 5?
I don't know, they hate one-handed.
Oh, it's so sad.
They hate one-handed people.
Yeah, Gen 5 is rough on the mashing.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Shout out to any poor soul that's ever run Gen 5 on a 3DS. That is not fun to mash on.
Yeah.
I was shouting out to myself there. There's basically only myself and M-Ray's done one run on 3DS. That's kind of it. Everybody else
on Garfield.
I was Garfield run on it.
White
Tyrant.
2.
Oh, White
Tyrant?
2, yeah. Oh, Tyrant doesn't count. No, I'm kidding. When has Tyrant been doing any runs recently? Come back to us, Tyrant.
He was trying to do Emerald all gold symbols, I think, a while ago.
Oh Christ!
Yeah.
Maybe don't come
He's
back.
been playing it.
Keep your sanity, my dude. Yeah.
So is Moon faster?
Oh, I've put the quote away now. He says something about it in the quote. I swear I read this. I've just got the memory of a goldfish. Ta-da. Moon has more advantages over Sun with perfect luck, but this run did not get a lot of these advantages. They can encore fake out in Elite 4.
Oh.
So they get free setup, but they only got it once. Yeah, so it seems like it's not much. It seems like there's a couple of advantages to Moon, but not significant. Well, significant enough to use it, but not hugely significant.
The one thing that turns me off of it is just how long it takes you to get Piplup, or not Piplup, Papio.
Up there, yeah. It is,
That seems
like
rough.
15 minutes.
It is a cutscene heavy game.
It's like they made it so that you wouldn't want to speedrun it. Otherwise,
16 minutes.
it's like 16 minutes to check your stats. Like, come on.
RNG minute.
So is it? Yeah, is the RNG minute? I think it has something to do with subframes, and that's why it's not viable. And probably I think same goes for. Is it Crafted? Do you know anything about Gen 6 minutes and why it doesn't work?
I don't know much about it. I think it's just really hard,
Okay.
and you have to set it up each run. Yeah, see, it takes 4 minutes to set up. So
Christ.
What? That just sucks.
That sounds terrible.
I mean, is it super necessary? How you know, talking wartab here, how reset heavy are the stats? Like, how much do you need?
No, I think he says he doesn't actually use the RNG minute. That's what I mean.
No, I know, but then, so what stats does he take? Does anybody know anything about that?
I don't think it's too terrible.
This is great. There's 4 of us here and nobody knows anything about Gen 7. We are actually
Like I said, I would watch Keys just for the slowpoke cutscene. That was about it for me.
I have literally never watched a Gen 7 stream.
Yeah.
God. I feel bad now.
I try not to hate on it because obviously anybody can speedrun whatever they want, but it just so many disincentives for speedrun. It just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Ultra Sun and Moon, you get the starter a lot quicker though, at least.
Oh, really?
I think it's like 5 minutes or something. It's a lot better.
890
He
plus special
needs
attack.
plus special attack. God.
Probably need a bit more special. That's not even that bad. So yeah, I mean, if the requirements aren't,
That's only
that's better odds.
That's only 4 natures, and if you don't want trash speed, that's 3 natures. Like, that sounds awful.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, but it sounds like he can take neutral natures, right, with decent stats.
No. It's
Yeah, I don't think he means. I don't think he means plus special attack. I think he means.
Oh,
more.
AIV plus. Okay. Sorry, that seems a little more reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, that's better odds than most old single segment.
True.
Like when we used to just take in most of the old games, Gen 1 through 3.
But 21 plus. That was the Gen 3 ones.
Yeah.
The attack had to be 21 plus neutral, or.
Oh, you took 21 plus neutral and emerald.
Yes. That's what we did from Mudkit.
Yeah. I guess that's about what we took as well.
1 in 12 crystal.
Oh, yeah.
1 in 12. I didn't want to know the odds for Emerald.
1 in 19
Why
for
would you
red
tell
blue
me?
Squirtle.
Oh
Oh,
god.
was it really?
Actually, it doesn't sound as bad as the amount of resets I saw worse to do. In a way.
Yeah.
20 plus negative. That's not horrific, I suppose.
No, yeah, that's pretty good actually.
But a 14-minute reset if you don't get that.
Yeah.
No, 16, sorry.
Yeah.
I remember not liking running Oras because it was 6, I think.
Yeah, that it is even a little bit longer in Horus, yeah.
Congrats, Water. And thank you for your comments. Have I still got them up on stream because I did that last time? No. Hey, I'm doing well, guys.
I ain't one.
So one of our last ones. We've got a lot to talk about this month. Lots of people doing lots of things. It's nice. We are quickly going to mention Mr. Megotsthis is two games, 1 controller run at GDQ. I love this run. Love this run. It's so clever. The abuse of mechanics that you wouldn't even think of when you're doing runs typically. Just so he can match up the games as much as possible.
I honestly don't even understand how this works. I don't even know how it would be possible, but it is really cool.
He does a lot of this where he'll sit on the helix. Once he gets to the helix fossil, he can sit on that while he's catching up in the other game. But the fact that like yellow and red run at completely different speeds. Oh, it's blue, sorry.
Okay.
Just like it is just nuts. And then Megotsthis had a bit of an AMA on Reddit, talking about the run. He says he's potentially looking at doing red and fire red.
That would be very interesting.
That would be really cool.
That would be insane. Because it's not even the right number of spaces. Freaking Forest is 3 squares wide in red and 5 in fire red.
Yeah,
So
it's just bonk, right?
It's all wrong. Right. You got some of this as well. He's trying to save on one game and save on the other at the same time.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm really. I know Megotsthis has been submitting this to GDQs now for a couple of years. I'm really glad he finally got to get it there.
Yeah, that's nice.
A really entertaining run. Definitely check it out if you haven't already seen it. I feel like everybody would have watched GDQ.
Yeah, I watched part of this at least.
Sure, I watched it.
I'll be honest, I didn't get to see it live. I had to watch it on the VODs.
I didn't. I think I saw like the end of Megotsthis run, and that's it.
That was Paris Minute. I've just realised what he was doing there.
He minute for a Paris with the rocket cutscene. That's crazy.
I think he was saving for consistency. He actually manipped on one game and to the same square that he gets a fight in the other.
Oh, wow, nice.
Dang.
Because he obviously couldn't. He didn't manip Mount Moon, right? He encounters.
Oh, let's find out. I don't know. It would be. What is?
It seems like it'd be pretty crazy if you actually did, because the manips can't be the same, and he would have to.
No, he hasn't. No.
So, yeah.
That would be nuts.
Yeah.
Although maybe he may have manipped. If he's fighting a hiker here, he may have manipped red. I know the yellow manip is something nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the red manip is particularly difficult. No, he hasn't. But yeah, the red manip isn't as bad on execution, but I suppose trying to match up A input presses and not do anything stupid on yellow at the same time would be extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be forced.
Trying to find a manip that would work on both the same inputs.
God, yeah.
That would take
Springflow, where you at?
the end of time.
I mean, it would take it would be possible though, wouldn't it? Because you wouldn't need to effectively have two separate manips. You could just try and find two manips where the inputs lay over, because yellow requires a load more inputs. As long as you had one where the inputs you needed on red kind of lie within the inputs on yellow, I suppose it would be possible, but God bless the soul that needs to find that.
Yeah.
Considering the in-game time thing, inconsistency as well, it's just
You've got
going to take forever to find that.
A double 4 in 60 chance of not hitting the right IGT anyway. But yeah. No, this is a great run. I think he gets a slightly unfortunate ending where he dies on yellow, but Elite 4 on yellow is yellow. We've mentioned this already. Yellow is nuts. Congrats to Megotsthis. I'm hoping that you can do the red fire red one. Really hope.
That'd be super cool.
I'm going to leave the video up because I don't really have anything else to show while we talk about this, but I do want to remind people about the PSR Marathon coming up in... Oh god, when is it? August? It's a weekend in August. I don't remember when.
I think it's the 10th through the 12th.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
I don't think it's 18th to the 20th because I think that's UKSM.
Yeah, that's.
We didn't want the crossover because then me, Garth, and somebody else would have been gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've submissions have closed, and because I'm on the committee, I've seen the submission list. I'm not allowed to say, well, I don't think I'm allowed to say anything about it yet because that would spoil the surprise, but it looks good. What I've seen looks very good. We have a very unique selection, a far wider selection than we've had in any other years as well. I wasn't there for the first year.
So are the submissions not public this year?
Oh, they might be, to be fair. I don't know. I don't know if they do that or not. I'm just being safe. I don't want to potentially spoil the party.
Yeah, nothing's been announced that I know of, but
I don't know if they make them public or not. I hope they don't make one particular sheet public because we all sit there and give a yes or no opinion on every run. Whether we want it in the final schedule or not. And we're not being dicks about it. We think, we compare stuff to, what's run last year and whatnot. And it mostly goes down to the scheduling team. But they take into consideration the opinions of everybody else in the committee. We have a good discussion about it. I think, there's a good picture of what the final schedule is going to look like. It's just it's a case of the scheduling team getting it all together and making sure that availabilities line up. I'm excited to see the final list. I think a lot of people are going to be as well.
Oh yeah, I think I always like the PSR Marathon.
I'd say the first few were held up by some more significant runners. Like Worcester did a lot of runs in the first few. The PSR community has expanded so much recently that it's just not going to be that kind of case this time round. It's going to be a good, a diverse selection.
Well, he didn't do any last year.
Well, he wasn't available to. I still think Keyzron did 2, maybe 3 though.
I did 2.
Yeah, you did too. So I think I'll give a slightly minor spoiler. I think we're looking to avoid more than 1 run per runner. I think we're actually looking at having a unique runner for every run. I think we have the runs, that many runs available to us that we can do that. That's going to be really interesting. Sense. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Pokemon Speedruns TV is the Twitch channel, I believe, where it will be streamed. And I will mention, seeing as we have the next podcast will be the August one. Following on from the August one, this is a bit of a special announcement, I guess. And we still haven't worked out all the details. I'm really mumbling with this, but hear me out. There will be a PSR Pokemon Speedruns Podcast special at some point just before the marathon on the Pokemon Speedruns TV channel, where we will talk nothing but marathon stuff, hopefully.
That's gonna be clutch.
So keep an eye out for that. Won't be on this channel, obviously. Don't say details to be fleshed out, but that's exciting. There'll be a bunch of other stuff as well, but I think we're looking at having hopefully a full week of content, not just the 3-day marathon. Hopefully having a few things building up into it. Keep an eye out for that. Thank you, Crafted. Yeah, everybody should follow that link if you're not already. I think with that is all of our main points. We get to go through what is my personal favourite part of the podcast, just because it's numbers, basically. I like going to a leaderboard and going, this person's got this and this person's got that. We're going to go round up the leaderboards, cover all of the PBs that we haven't already covered, from all of the talented runners in Pokemon Speedruns, and I'm absolutely mumbling until this webpage fucking loads, because it always takes forever. So, Gen 1, Red, Blue. We actually haven't spoken about this as a major topic yet, which is a bit surprising. It normally appears as a big one. I'm dropping frames. No, there hasn't been a big standout run, particularly, but there've been lots and lots of PBs. So we've got people like Hammershow's got himself 4th place with the classic bad comment. Fran Chewbacca up in 6th. SLWeed, who was our Japanese record setter from earlier, he's also taken 9th. Yeah, in English. So we've got a new one in 4th, 6th, 9th. There's a new one in 13th with Wanley Ways, who again was someone we mentioned earlier. What is this real? Just listen to the music that's coming out. No idea what this song is. Vivek in 16th. I think Vivek came up in the last month's one, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
No, he didn't. I'm full of shit. Not at all.
Oh, no, never mind. I thought the name sounded familiar.
It does sound familiar. Apparently hasn't had a run in 4 months. But yeah. I'm just terrible. We've got a couple of new, I don't know about new, but a couple of British speedrunners showing up. Nice little British block down in the 17th to the 23rd section. Yeah, Steffit's a fairly recent runner, and he's been doing Pokemon runs for 5 months now. Wow, okay, Jack Straz, who's now in 22nd, he's been doing runs for a month. So, this is, again, Gen 1 tends to have these outbursts of like new big runners. We were talking about Wanley Ways earlier. He's been putting in some serious progress. Has anybody been watching any Red Blue runs recently? I don't think I have.
I haven't really.
I haven't watched anything since Xarion's run.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true. I watched Weed do a few runs a while ago.
So I haven't really been keeping up with anybody Gen 1 wise apart from Pokeguy. But there's always such a big selection, it's difficult to try and keep up with everybody.
Yeah.
Like we've got Chill Magic in 25th with a Death to Surge. To be fair, 151. I was about to say that's really close to record, but it's actually 6 minutes away now. That seems nuts. We got the record to 145 now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It is crazy.
I'll quickly float through the rest. There's Flutz up in 27th, Headbob 37th, Lava Star in 69th. Nice. Oh, Timed with Tyrant as well. Also nice. SBD Wolf in 105th. I'm going to say 105th, and that doesn't make sense. Blake, I'm not going to pronounce the rest of his name, but Blake in 111th. Combo Master in 130. No, not 131st. Yeah, 131st. Tied with Spitfire. When is Spitfire?
Spitfire! Spitfire!
That's an OG Sapphire name, is that?
Free Spitfire.
Korgoth down in 228th. And Tsunami Dono in 236th. I don't even know how to pronounce these numbers at this point. And then It's Jojo in 268. So we've even got some, there you go, first completed runs. Brand new faces in. Gen 1 always seems to pull in the brand new faces, it's a good thing. Nice to see. It's interesting to see where they go as well. How far they go with it. NSC got itself a new run by Lava Star again, who was one of the ones on the Glitchless leaderboards. Itself a nice NSC PB. And then, shout out to the miscellaneous categories. Reverse Badge Order. Got itself a brand new 9th place by, I believe it's Rhino Manom. Not quite sure how to pronounce it.
Rhino
Rhino.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, thank you. This is Quayliking all over again. I'm terrible at pronouncing people's names. So we had the new, going on to yellow, we had the new yellow record by Gunner. And we also said about Pokeguy's 2nd place. We've also got, if it ever loads, 4th place by Juan Luiz, who again keeps cropping up. 4th is ridiculous. It is still a fairly decent gap between 4th and 3rd. That is a minute 30. But Opt Keys are on, and Ty Kevin, not a shabby runner for yellow at all, and does a lot of work, especially with the tasks. Ty Kevin himself actually got getting his PB last month with the best Vaporeon time. Vaporeon is where you die to the start of the first fight, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Gary's or Blue's Eevee changes evolution depending on which ones you win and lose.
So that just means you have slightly less money, and you also fight slightly different Pokemon on the rival fights.
Yes, I don't think the Vaporeon's that nice a matchup for a Nidoking.
Doesn't matter that much with Horndrill.
That's true. Then there's how do I pronounce this? Raizoga in 58th. First run that they felt comfortable submitting to the leaderboards. The one that would always interest me about yellow is how the red leaderboards have a lot of 230 times, 240 times flashing them out. The yellow leaderboard doesn't. There's a lot of people sub 210, and then there's like 10 runs over that between 4 hours and 212. It's like yellow is such a punishing game that I feel like it just scares a lot of people off. A lot of people that are in that kind of area. And then Tyro, who we mentioned last month as well, has actually improved his Pikachu only PB by nearly an hour. So I said this was an interesting run. It's nice to see. I always love alternative starter runs. And dropping full
that
hour.
Seems tough.
Yeah. I can't imagine how the Elite Four goes in this. Seismic Toss.
Yeah, because you can't evolve, you just gotta go.
I want to watch this just a little bit. Thunder makes sense, especially for the Aerodactyl. The setup must be nuts though. Yeah, nearly sub 4 with just a Pikachu is is great, and I'm interested to see how much further he can take this.
I remember Mountebank, I think, did runs of this. I can't remember what time he got. I think he's deleted all his Twitch VODs, so we can't find out.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. Then... Oh, I closed the page down. That was a dumb move. Speaking of the Japanese rule sets, as we did earlier, Swaff has actually been doing Japanese rule set on English. Got himself third place in yellow. Apparently they're not allowed to do Need a Minute. Oh, it's single segment on classic rules, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. So Arai is still holding that top spot. I didn't realise Snorms had done this either.
Yeah.
Some big names on that leaderboard. NSC gets itself a couple of new runs. 23rd for Nick Math. And 35th for a Pen, I think. Yeah, there it is, tied. It's a second try for his Pokemon speedrun. And he's using the wiki route, guys. He's using the wiki. Somebody's still using the wiki. I love it. Brilliant. I'm so glad.
Wiki.
I love the wiki. The wiki was great. I managed to amaze people by completely breaking my profile page on the wiki. I think Lucky's still got a copy of that somewhere. I just destroyed it. I don't even know what I did. Ruined it. So the next game we've got is trading card game. I don't know how to pronounce 000AJ, but that guy has 6th place. I think he had a PB last month as well.
There's a lot of discussion going on in the TCG Discord at the moment. Yeah, it's really active.
Huh? I've muted it.
Usually dead.
It's just so annoying me now.
I have it muted by default because it's not one of the games I run, so I will take your word on that one.
No, but there's actually been so much in like the past week.
What's the developments?
It's been going like non-stop, I think, for a week.
I'd like to shout out my boy Callum Bell, still sat in 4th. Massive monkey ball runner. I didn't actually know he'd run this game this recently. I knew he used to do races, but I didn't realise he had a run as recently as a year ago.
He's a beast.
Yeah, Callum's great. He destroys any game he touches.
Yeah.
Stefan in 22nd. And Robo Ridley in 26th. I don't know what his comment is road to get 106.14 back. Must be some kind of history there, but I don't understand that one. So that's really it for the TCG. And then we mentioned the Snap record progression video. There has been a couple of new PBs. None at the top of the leaderboard, but tends to be a lot more newer runners coming in and improving their PBs. Alpha Delta Mike in 13th. CJ It's All Good down in 25th. That one. There you go, look at that name. I pronounced that one right. That took me a long time. Keto in 26th. Shout out to my boy Keto. Another good monkey ball runner. Slopdop in 31st. And Slopdop, yeah. Oh, what was the name from last... What was the one name from last month that made me laugh loads?
Oh, glass of bootleg milk or something.
That was it, exactly. Why do you remember that?
Because I was looking for his PBs to see if he was here again this month.
Glass of bootleg milk, yeah. That is a great name. I love good usernames. You Are Penguin 38th, Full Air in 48th, and Dark Q Massacres bringing up the rear with his first run. Basically just a playthrough, but that's always a decent way to start. Make sure you know the game you're actually playing before you start running it. A lot of people do that. They go, "Oh, I'm going to run this game," and they haven't actually played it. Shouts to that one comment someone put about, "Oh, this route needs to be improved because it doesn't tell you where to go in the game."
What about the one guy who came into the Discord and just said, "How do you beat this game? I've never played it."
Hey guys, play the game before you run it.
Brain or something.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing it in...
I vaguely remember someone like asking like a map through Pokemon Mansion or something.
God, play the game, folks. You don't know if it's a good speedrun until you've played the game. No point putting that effort in it. So yeah, we talked about Gunner's second place in gold already. The only other one would be Blake. I can't pronounce the rest of his name. 52nd. Blake also showed up on, I think it was the red leaderboard this month somewhere. Yeah, so he's got red and gold PBs this month. There's somebody else that looks like they're branching out into multiple games at once. It's always a cool thing. Moving on, we've got Stadium 2, and this is the only record we didn't actually mention in the main topics, and I'll be honest, slightly because I don't know anything about Stadium 2. But Zewing, who is a long-time speedrunner, real old boy, takes the record here by a good chunk. I mean, I've watched Stadium 1 runs, so I imagine it's a similar kind of thing. Where you have a
lot of RNG.
Yeah, a lot of RNG. You have a battle factory team. Yeah,
you use rental Pokemon only, which aren't that great, so it makes it hard. I think it's Worcester's comment. It was like Stadium 2 has less RNG or something, but it kills you in more interesting ways. Something like that.
Yeah, when it's bullshit, it's real bullshit. So yeah, and then Silent Wolf, who I believe took the Stadium 1 record, the main June Leader Castle Round 1 last month, has now taken 3rd in Stadium 2. I'd expect to see him come up as well. The Worcester's original record here was a year ago, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Worcester come back to this a little bit now that it's been beaten. Although Zewing playing on the Japanese version, I don't know if that would be any faster or not. I imagine if they're not separated, they're not.
Well, that's just I think the console, because the oh no, sorry, it's would be the same. It's the same. It's just the same. I
suppose there's no text scrolling, is there? It's just
yeah, so it's exactly the same.
Yo, Potato Cam as well. Holla. I love me some Potato Cam runs. So from there, it's Crystal. I'd say not much activity in Crystal, mostly because the routing work's being done. I'd expect to see a lot more PBs in the next month or two. So for the moment, the only one we've got is Trumu down in 23rd. Pretty decent time, you reckon? It's soon to improve. I'll say my classic one to watch if you like Crystal runs.
A side note, love that name, Trumu.
Trumu. I like the fact it's True TROO. not just Trumu. Sapphire, apart from the Japanese record by Mr. Hines, we also have Simply Cosmo, who has been in every bloody leaderboard ever at this point.
Yeah, he's doing a lot now. Yeah, he's pretty active.
Yeah. So he's doing shades of what Crafted did a few years ago, where he suddenly popped up in every leaderboard ever.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to learn the Emerald route and get like 3rd place in a week. The rest of us were just disgusted. It's like all our hard work. So yeah, but Cosmo will pop up again in a different leaderboard in just a little bit.
Hopefully he grinds black soon. I'd like to see him play more.
Yeah, he was. God, there was how many of us was running black originally? 4?
A lot. He actually got me to learn black originally, just from watching him.
Are you not trying to get like a 5-way race at PSR or something?
Unfortunately, since then, I don't think Emre ever has quite learned it on DS yet. I've died.
Emre hasn't got her seed yet.
Yeah. I saw I was watching a stream and she was trying to find one. She did an original run on 3DS. She reckoned that 3DS lost her minutes. Shout outs to 3DS.
Shout out to yourself, Amuva.
Shout out to me, yeah. Correct.
DSi features.
So, as every month, I'm going to open this leaderboard to complain about the fucking layout. Fix the goddamn layout. However, as an aside, there is a nice little PB to actually mention here. Someone has actually done a channel run, thank God. Sadie.
Whoa.
Down in
Sadie's, that's cool. Harvest Moon Runner, right?
Oh, really?
Oh, I also recognize Sadie from My Sims.
Yeah, Sadie's in the Harvest Moon Discord.
Well, Sadie's shown up. She or I don't know. I said she just because it's a female avatar. Will show up in the Dash leaderboard as well in a little bit. But yeah, Harvest Moon. That's like your other game, isn't it?
Right? Yeah, I dabble, you know.
Yeah, humble brag.
Yeah.
Then it's Colosseum. That's Colosseum. And again, Raikou improves his second place to a second place. But this man has also been putting in work. I'm waiting for the day that Raikou takes his record, because it's coming. I don't know what happened with the RNG manip in this game. I haven't heard anything more about it since.
Yeah, I don't either. The guy who was working on it, I think, is in Cosmo's Discord.
Oh, Smiley. I think it was Smiley's was working on it for a bit.
Oh, was he?
I think so, yeah. I remember seeing a video from him on XD Manip.
Okay.
I think Colosseum kind of goes hand in hand with that.
Oh, yeah, wow, he actually got pretty close to it. I remember watching it, sorry, and it seems pretty good, so it looks like Raikou actually got pretty close to it.
Yeah. Raikou, I love Raikou just because he did Torchic runs in Emerald.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to know anything else. Alternative.
And he was also, he did Cyndaquil, I think, in Silver or Gold as well.
Yeah, so, was that not Snorms?
He might have done it too, but I remember reading Raikou's notes originally when I learned Gold, and then I think he also did some Cyndaquil.
You're absolutely right, yes, my bad. I get them mixed up because Snorms does, or was the original Charmander runner for Fire Red.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
This is the double up on the alternative starters. I clicked off the leaderboard, but there's actually other runners there as well. I don't know how to pronounce this name. I'm going to guess at Rorflagon. Any other takes?
Raffle, yeah, that's about as good.
Rorflagon. Yeah. 7th place from Rorflagon. Running on the Wii? I don't know if that matters. I imagine load times would be slightly better. Or more consistent, at least. God bless GameCubes, but the lasers do die on them real quickly.
Yeah.
And then Crisco Wild in 31st. Submitted his IGT as RTA. I don't know what that means. For the run, at least. Then we move on to Fire Red. And Araya, I would believe, had just kind of done an entry run last month. I could be wrong. But has now taken 4th place with a 2:05. That's a very decent time. Wouldn't be surprised to see this time go lower.
Yeah, he's been playing. I think that's mostly what he's been grinding lately, so hopefully he keeps at it.
I'm also a liar. Apparently they didn't show up on the leaderboard before this run, but I knew they were running it last month. I'm sure I did. So, unfortunately, I think that's a Squirtle runner, so boo hiss, don't talk to me.
Yeah, he is doing Squirtle now.
I love it. Charmander's better, even though it's not. It's suboptimal now, but it isn't. Delca MX in 20th. And shout out to my boy, JP Zenam. Well, no, that's the wrong leaderboard. There it is.
Dude, JP.
Who PB'd again in Fire Red Round 2. As last month, JP has been on a fairly long hiatus, which is a shame because he's a really good Fire Red runner.
Yeah.
It's nice to see him back, and in the better category, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
the best category.
This man. I tend to agree. It's a bit of a shame it's in Fire Red Leaf Green because the game itself is a bit dodgy, but it is such a good run. Such a unique run. At some point, I've got to learn that. 8 runners. Why does it only have 8 runners? I guess if you've got emulators,
I think the manip is
to 15.
I don't like the fact you have to do single second.
Oh god, yeah, 5 years ago. 420 is not a bad time either, especially for that long ago. Cool Trainer Michael, RIP.
CTM, baby.
Needy RNG.
Needy RNG, RIP. Can we have a moment of silence, please? Sorry, we've got Mev on the thing, we need to pull up the M. There he is. Any percent. RIP, 4 years ago. God. Dang. That was such a good time back then.
Yeah, he had the best notes too. I remember learning.
Oh yeah, he did. Him and who's the other one? I think it was Luckless did. It was some meme. What was the meme category? The one that Fades loves. Spinder percent
Spinder.
in both of the Gen 3 games. He did like with pictures, like all of the characters had icons. It was such a well laid out set of notes for the meanest category. It was done so well. Yeah. So Fire Red, bit of nostalgia in there. Emerald, the only one is simply Cosmo. He returns again. The double Gen 3 PBs. Shiru, please. Please, a little quick prayer for Shiru.
Yeah, stop dying.
Stop dying. God damn it. Tatum Liza isn't that hard. No, it is. Tatum Liza sucks.
Man, that last one was a heartbreaker. He died on the 50-50 to Zatu. I don't know if it was, but
Yeah.
God.
It seems Shiru is like following in the steps of Buster, that every day there's a new highlight of how this runs the world record.
Yeah.
Ding, hello. So we're going to the Pokemon Dash leaderboards for the first time ever? Question mark?
Yeah, ever.
Ever, yeah. As we go to the Green Cup and Sadie shows up again with a 552. I know nothing. I've actually played Pokemon Dash and I still know nothing about the game. I played it for 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't remember it being great.
Oh, Uber
Played
Nuber actually.
half of these games, so
Uber ran, I think, in the marathon last time, right? Or didn't he run Dash? I
Also,
remember it was last year or the year before. He's also a Harvest Moon dude. Hype.
so it seems like there's a lot of screen tapping. It seems like a really good game to destroy a DS very quickly. So that and Ranger. I swear that was just like, how can we market Pokemon so that people rip through more DSs and make more money? And then we go from one leaderboard that we've never been to before to another leaderboard that we've never been to before. And all of the English people in the call hate that word. Because it was not called Trozy in English, apparently.
I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be.
No, I'm not sure. I've never seen the game in English, so I didn't know it was called Link. I think we talked about this on the last podcast, and Scoa and Crafted shouted at me for saying Trozy. It was Link in English, but so we've got Nick 661.
It's Trozy in America, and then Link in England.
no, it must have been Fates because I've always thought it was called Drozday.
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I say if I was getting shouted at, it was probably Fate.
It makes sense that the game existed, but you know.
I don't think I've ever seen this. It's one of those games, along with Crystal, that I didn't know existed until I was a lot older. It's a little less understandable for Crystal. It looks a lot like Bejeweled or Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Yeah, this leaderboard's suddenly got quite a few people in it. Oddly, only moderated by Cards of the Heart. Somehow, this game has escaped the Supermod's wrath.
Yeah.
Don't know. Oh, Lava Star again. They showed up in a leaderboard earlier. Didn't realise that one. That was the record. And then 2 days later, Nick666 beat it. Also got runs in normal and hard. I presume you just unlock hard after normal. Right, so that is a lot of Bejeweled. An hour and 46 minutes. God. It's nice to see it's got some run. I think the leaderboard was empty, apart from the Cards of the Heart run. So it's nice to see that that's getting some love. We go back to the Mystery Dungeon runs after this. Where is it? So we do a lot of these in-between games getting no love whatsoever. Diamond and Pearl getting nothing. And Platinum, apart from the records.
Yeah.
Platinum got 3 records and nothing else. We go over to Explorer of Sky, which on top of the records that we mentioned earlier, got no Wonder Mail any percent. Third place is J. Rachi. If we go over to the with Wonder Mail percent, I keep saying percent, it's not got a percent sign after it. You shoot me. So there's the Humis record, Like a Noob in 5th. Like a Noob's an already established Mystery Dungeon runner. And regular Pokemon runner. I didn't realise he was so high in any percent on Pearl. That's interesting. Siver in 9th. And HG Finn in 11th. So this leaderboard looks like it's like doubled in size since last month, which is nice. And then there's obviously the Darkrai record by Mozzarella on the the Wonder Males category, but HeartGold also setting a time on the same day for second place. So again, this literally has doubled in size. This leaderboard. So Explorers of Sky getting a lot of love for quite a long speedrun. That's a lot of runs in a single month. And again, we go over to Rumble. I forgot this in the first podcast, and RDA shot me. So we have to make sure we're here. Finally, what category was it? Advanced with passwords. So RDA gets a new, quote-unquote free. RDA does a lot of work for this category, so this will not be a free record to beat, but it is effectively a free record because nobody else has run this category. Gets himself a new advanced passwords run. There's another one as well. EX. God, what is this? Oh, here we go. EX with passwords. And then
so many subcategories.
Yeah, there is a lot. And then what is this one? All battle royales with passwords. Yeah, look at all these subcategories that RDA has the record in and nobody else has run on a board that RDA has mod in. What a coincidence! Oh, hello RDA. He's in the chat. We're not just calling you out at all. No, this man. I'm sure. When did you say he did Rumble? Not the last marathon, but the one before. I'm sure he's done it in one of the PSR marathons. RDA putting a lot of work there. Then it's Poke Park. I don't think we've had to bother with this game the last couple of.
It was such an abstract game. I was looking through and I was like, there's probably not going to be anything here, but there's actually quite a lot.
Well, new record by Deathline. Second place by HeartGold, who is also the big name in Mystery Dungeon runs at the moment. Third place by Zelda Fan. Poor Hero Fred, who is a cool guy, has just been decimated in this game all of a sudden. In a single month he's dropped from 1st to 4th. Werfe in 6th. And then Mozzarella, also a PMD runner, coming up in last at the moment. I imagine Mozzarella tried this game out because HeartGold was running it. Purely because of their link from PMD. I could be wrong. Could just be a big coincidence. I'd be surprised. Nothing in the Gen 5 games. Crafted, when is the naughty world record? Oh yeah, well, actually,
one day.
I will mention that really quickly because I don't know if we did last month. Crafted is actually doing actual attempts now in black with a completely different nature on his Tepig. Doesn't make massive changes to the route.
Yeah,
you are actually doing naughty though. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like the big time save is in the very first split, and it's pretty like it's not consistent time save. It's basically if you get Blaze and you can do strats, and if you get like too many encounters, you can do more kind of YOLO strats to make up time in Blaze. And then after the first split, it pretty much just loses time, but it isn't guaranteed to lose time. So it's, I don't know, it's faster in the best case than Adamant, but it's less consistent. So, but the good thing about this is for new runners, they can just take either nature. So it makes the RNG manip search a lot quicker.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there's a potential as well that you could get seeds close to each other on the same. I suppose.
You mean like one stats... timer 0 is naughty and one?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Adamant with. Yeah, I don't think that's.
Well, a man can dream, alright? Actually get dual runs in Gen 5, that'd be amazing.
Oh, imagine one on Black and White 2, all 6 timer 0s.
But yeah, Black and White 2, I'll say this, I will make the drill per minute video by the next podcast.
Oh, we have a commitment.
That is a commitment.
I'm quoting you on that.
It will be done before the next podcast.
The man is out of uni, he has free time now. You're not allowed. Well, okay, you're not allowed back on the podcast until you've done that video. The commitment has been made. You're in trouble. Whatever happened to MHM? He went and got an actual job. Like, that's what he did. He's doing IRL stuff, and it's big time IRL stuff. I don't remember the details, but his job is quite cool, if I remember rightly. So
engineering, isn't it?
yeah.
Electrical engineering.
It's something that sounds like it makes hella dollar. Like, I don't know anything more about it than that. Yeah, that's another moment of silence. R.I.P. Money Hype Mike.
Rip.
Shout out to his Twitch chat where it still has a list of all the Pokemon records, and the Emerald one still says my name. Yeah, the only new XY runner, new run is by Emre. Emre has been doing the hard grind in this game. Definitely, well, streams have been listed with the words world record attempts at the top. Has been on pace for record, I believe, in Irvine. So definitely, I'm expecting the second place at least.
Yeah, she definitely deserves to get a much better time.
The effort has been put in.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see. Also, she could run black, which would be good. A bit more black runners.
Come back to us.
I made the mistake of clicking into the game, so we're going to have to sit here for 5 seconds while it loads. There we go. The only other main game that had new runs is Oras. So apart from the Sun Moon record, Gen 7 not getting any love. Oras has wartab in 14th, so not only showing up with a Gen 7 record, but also wants to dip his toe into the Gen 3 remakes. Oh, I forgot this doesn't have RNG in it. That's what you get for running the bad version.
Yeah.
Soul Soldier in 18th. That's a new name, I believe. I don't know if that's the first run or not. The only comment is nice.
Nice.
Oh, that's an excellent background as well. I like this guy. Not quite.
That's not his first run, actually.
No, it's not. But that's a hell of an improvement.
Yeah, it is.
16 odd minutes, and then Mr. Fun in 19th. I wonder if that's the first run. That is a first run of Oras. So, well, they're not the first Pokemon run. 5th place in Ultra Sun Moon, and a bunch of first place in a bunch of other games. So yeah, that is. I'll use the patented "someone to watch out for." Pretty much the catchphrase, man. And then I didn't even know this game existed, but Rumble World.
What? How can you not know Rumble World?
What is Rumble World?
It's the best. Fly away on balloons and fight things. It's great.
I'll have to open this up now just to see. But yeah, Mayna with a brand new 2nd place. What is this game? Let's go on and explore. Oh, it looks kind of like Rumble, funnily enough.
Funny that.
Oh god, there's an avatar in the middle of it. Okay, now it looks gross. Sorry. Alright, cool. So yeah, that is the entire leaderboard roundup. And that's it. I think that's a pretty good point to end it, unless anybody else has any other interesting points to make.
Nope, I don't think so.
Nope.
Well, thank you very much to everybody for watching. This has been episode 3 of the Pokemon Speedruns Podcast. I'm Amoeba. Thank you very much to my guests Scoa, Crafted, and G Hines. And we'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.